welcome to the FPL USA Press Play podcast. You have two co-hosts on Free Hit. This is at FPL USA Brian, and I'm joined by the festive fixture guru himself at FPL _ Black Wolf. Dan, happy holidays. How you doing, mate?
Happy holidays to you. I'm looking forward to the holidays. It's been a nice break from work, so let's do this.
Oh my goodness, I'm so overworked, just like last minute invoicing requests, right. And I got to go to the CES in Vegas like right after the new year. So just been like inundating me with a bunch of gobbledygook that I don't care about. When in reality, I just want to spend time with the fam, drink a few beers, and watch some football. So
exactly.
Let's focus on the football. How did you do in game week 17?
I got another red arrow. Again.
Join the club.
Oh, man. 78 points. It would have been a green if Senesi didn't concede and lose 7 points in the last minute against Burnley. That was... Oh. And of course, brutal. Triple captain Haaland pays off for everyone else when me and you did it against Leeds and he did nothing. So...
I was telling some of the guys in our group chat, like that moment is going to live rent-free in my head for a long time. Just because he has been so magnificent and so prolific this season, to have a blank at home versus a newly promoted side in between a bunch of other double-digit hauls is just knife in the heart.
It really is.
What did we do, Dan? What did we do to deserve lumps of coal for Christmas where everybody else is on the nice list and they're getting 16-point triple caps galore?
I don't know what I've done wrong the past 2 years just to get all these red arrows. Driving me crazy. But, you know, Free Hit 18, hopefully it pays off for us.
We move. I'll pivot to my team quickly. Put this on screen. 76 points. A couple points worse than you. A very small red arrow. But still, we are now ranked top 3 million.
Ooh.
You can't make this stuff up. To be halfway through the season and be this mids is pretty pathetic. But, my whole game week 17 deadline pivoted around, did I want to move Gordon to Semenyo for 1 week, knowing that I was going to free hit in 18 and then Anthony Gordon and the Gordies actually have like a good run where they play a bunch of the promoted teams. So I'm like, I'll just keep Gordon, see if he can do anything against Chelsea, who have been, a little up and down against the top teams. And he comes in with a 10-pointer, but then, of course, Semenyo nabs a goal. And so that washed out, and I used my transfer to move the injured KDH to Tavernier. He did nothing. So it was just a bunch of, a bunch of moves that just don't fucking matter. The template is strong. And, if you don't hit one of those differentials in your kind of 3 to 4 spots, you're looking at a red to gray dot every week, I feel like. So hopefully on Free Hit, we can differentiate our teams and come up with a stroke of genius. When's the last time you had a stroke of genius, Dan?
Not that long ago. I mean, I put in Semenyo last week against United. So he came back with 6 and 10 points. So I'm going to take that as a stroke of genius. Everyone else was taking him out, and I thought, I can afford him now, and I brought him in. All right. So one good decision I've made in a while.
Yeah, that's a pretty low bar too, I would say.
I know.
All right, want to shout out our other co-host who is busy raising his children today as we record here on Tuesday, December 23rd. Bucks with a triple captain success story. He ends on 88 points with the triple cap. So without that chip, he's looking at 72 points. So even worse than me, but he saves it for the right time, ends up on a green arrow, and he did pretty well. 4 for 4 with his chips. He's inside the top 500K or thereabouts. So
yeah, exactly.
Pretty solid.
He's not that far ahead of me. The difference is all of his chips have been a success and mine have all been a failure. Otherwise, I'd be way ahead of this guy. Drives me insane.
Well, he's turning around after a rough season last year. So, we all ebb and flow from season to season. But, right now, I think we're just looking for a few template busters that can emerge during this quick window of matches. So We're going to see a lot of rotation between the matches happening on the weekend, followed by the Tuesday deadline coming up after that. Yeah.
I don't know what the days are during Christmas.
I think it's a Tuesday deadline. So midweek football right after, I think it's a Tuesday through Thursday, game week 19. So you could see even more rotation. There's only 3 days off for a few players. So it'll be interesting to see who features and who doesn't. So just be prepared to have some one-pointers and some pain most likely coming in. The average this week was 66 points. And more importantly, we want to shout out a few people that smashed the average in our Manager of the Game Week for the Press Play FPLUSA Global Mini League, where we shout out the highest scores here. Wanted to shout out, who do we have here? Kasura
Kahadua, who finished on 109 points using the bench boost. And that's despite the fact that Van Heck was a no-show for him. So he got 109 points with 14 players. It's pretty crazy. He had Haaland, Kelleher, Hankapi,
Kelleher,
Ekitike, Cunha, Tete, Nunes instead of O'Reilly, who seems to be a better pick lately, and then Truffert as well. So he smashed it. He flew up the ranks with that score.
I would have expected him to have the Lewis Potter points, the 21-pointer. Doesn't even feature, but I think Kelleher got the pen save, right? So that would have been a big score for him as well. So well done to this guy. 109 points, something I dream of, but can no longer even come close to. So anything else tickle your fancy during game week 17? Did you watch a lot of the matches? Were you in and out of the Wolves situation? Tell me about where you were on your couch this weekend.
I was watching the Wolves game, unfortunately, hoping to get some points there. That didn't go very well. I also had Thiago, so I thought, hey, at least if we lose, I'm going to get some Thiago points. And he had 0 XG, which is pretty crazy against
You would have thought. Yeah, Thiago is somebody who had tons of price rises after his 13-pointer, I believe, in game week 13 or 12, and then he's had 4 blanks in a row. So you get what you pay for with a mid-price striker. If they don't get a pen, he's not a monster in open play. Brentford are a mid-table team, so I think he is definitely one to make way this week for somebody like Ekitike, who, as the dominoes fall around him, he seems to be standing still at the top for the number 9 position for Liverpool. So I think
that's
we'll see
part of the problem. Free hitting the past 18, 17, or 16, though, the price changes are so crazy.
Oh yeah, my team value is fucked.
Yeah. You and I have Bruno Fernandes, who is injured, and Thiago in our team, and we're free hitting this week, so we're going to have to eat up all of those price changes. I certainly can't afford to get to the likes of Cunha and Ekitike next week. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to have to either take a hit or just hope these guys suck.
Yeah, how many free transfers do you have going into free hit this week?
Let's not talk about that.
One?
Just one. Just one.
Yeah. I have 4, so there's still a world in which I don't free hit, but I'm probably leaning towards it just to get it out of the way. And going to be traveling back next week instead of working on a free hit team before Tuesday deadline with the little baby. So I don't really have time to have that quick turnaround free hit and pay attention to leaks and whatnot. So I think I'm still focused on 18, but I'm definitely going to be, eating all those price changes. It is what it is. Just something that's, because of the major injuries to a few players, it's just causing the price changes to just skyrocket. It's definitely a pain in the ass. Any other matches that you were enjoying watching this weekend?
I mean, I didn't watch a lot of football this weekend, to be honest.
Ooh, yeah, I actually watched a ton of football because I went from California to Wisconsin, and so the 6:30 start for the first match, Central Standard Time, was very nice. So I basically had football on the iPad from like 6:30 a.m. till 4 p.m. Not too bad. Just hanging out in the house, catching up on some sleep.
Nice. I was a bit more focused on the NFL this week than actual football.
Yeah.
I'm a Seahawks fan, so watching that Rams and Seahawks game was very satisfying.
That's probably one of the best games that you could witness as a Seahawks fan.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
beautiful.
I paid a bit more attention to that side of football this week.
Yeah. I would say that I was thoroughly impressed with City once again. They kind of dismantled West Ham. West Ham pieced together a few chances, but City at home, always a great opportunity to score 2 or 3 goals minimum, right? I think they probably could add a few more. I was hoping that Cherokee might kind of establish himself as another pick here, but obviously seems to be really concentrating on assists. He'll trickle in a few Golazzos here and there, but he doesn't get any returns for anybody who punts it on him before wildcard or free hit at the end of this first window. And the defenders, like you said, Nunez is putting in a couple decent balls. He picks up some points. But City just trying to keep pressure on Arsenal in the table. And this is a rare Foden blank, I would say. The Golden Boys, the hot streakers, both Foden and Harry Wilson coming up with blanks, finally. And Harry Wilson was the number 1 transferred in player this game week, and he did not play that well. He goes in for a rash tackle, picks up a yellow card, and injures himself in the process. And as a non-owner, I was pretty happy about that.
Same. I think he should be fine for next game week, though. I think after the match, they said, it's just a little knock. He should be fine to play the next game week. I mean, you'll see soon he's in my free hit team currently.
Oh, wow.
Although not feeling great about it, but we'll see.
He's cheap as chips, so it helps enable some of the other heavy hitters you're interested in, so can't blame you there. I thought one of the more surprising results was Leeds 4-1 versus Crystal Palace. And who of all players scores a brace? DCL. What fucking year are we living in? Who jumped in the time machine and turned back the clocks? He's had a little bit of a purple patch here as a cheap striker. So if anybody is trying to swerve Ekitike, maybe you downgrade somebody like Thiago to DCL and you kind of rotate him. I wouldn't say I'd want to start him every week, but Leeds can put in a few surprising performances from time to time.
I mean, who do you bench him against, though? That's the thing. Like he returned against Chelsea at home. He returned against Liverpool at home. He returned against Crystal Palace at home. You'd probably have benched him in those 3 games and missed out on, 28 points. I don't know.
That's true. Yeah. So definitely an option. We think he's on pens. Yeah, he's on pens as well. So he had one in the last kind of 10 days. So somebody that could be an alternative if you're going to fade Ekitike, but he's the soup du jour. Ekitike will be 9.5 probably by the time I bring him in game week 19. I think he's just going to be improving. And the lad looks good. He loves his shot. I have to admit, I'm very surprised to see him have this much early success coming from the fucking swamp league, whatever league he was in previously, to move over to Liverpool and really just take all the goals that I thought Isak would be scoring. But he's fit, he's firing, and now with all the injuries, he should be locked for 80 plus minutes in these matches. So I can't blame anybody going for that switch of moving out the likes of Bruno Fernandes, who picks up a little hamstring dinger. I don't think we know the severity yet, but he's definitely a candidate to downgrade immediately, I would say, because there's so many matches, 3 matches in 10, 12 days. They're going to take their time with him. They don't have European commitments, but as the leader of the club and de facto best player for many years, rushing him back in a season where they're not likely to make Champions League just makes no sense. So he's definitely a sell for me, and we'll answer some hashtag FPL community questions later on where we shout out some of our best midfielders.
I mean, it'd be nice for me and you if Bruno Fernandes made a miraculous recovery, because everyone's selling him this week. We're on a free hit. If he came back next week and we have him and no one else does, that's what I'm hoping for.
A Christmas miracle.
Yeah, it's a Christmas miracle.
All right. Other than that, I don't know. Let me pull up FootMob here. I had one other match that I wanted to shout out, but it is escaping me now, Dan. Escaping me now. Did you think... of course, Richarlison does what Richarlison does. He scores a goal to wipe a clean sheet for Van Dijk. But Van Dijk was at fault and has been at fault for a number of goals this season.
He took an air shot.
I'm still kind of looking at possibly double Liverpool defense versus Wolves instead of punting on Verts. So curious to see what your free hit looks like, because I think for us, especially free hitting this week, you have to triple up against your Wolves. It's tough to do, but brain over heart in this instance, and then maybe you'll get surprised. And who cares about FPL if you could get a shock draw? But that's going to be a tough away fixture for y'all.
Yeah, I've also thought about the double Liverpool defense. I mean, we can talk about it when we get to our drafts. I just don't know who I would pick, because I think, at least I saw right before recording, Konate has a bit of a knock. You have Kirkes, but is Andy Robertson going to have a chance? I don't know. On the right, Frimpong's back. Could he play? Who knows?
That's the man.
And then you have Alisson in goal, but I think in goal I would prefer Pickford, because I think he's going to get more save points probably. So I don't know.
Yep. Yeah, you're kind of seeing with like Raya and Alisson and Donny Ruma. They're really sixes. They're very rarely get even a save point or even get bonus. So I'm not as keen on that either. But
Wolves are going to sit back in this game for sure.
Yeah, I don't see them having more than 5 shots probably the whole match. It's tough in an away fixture to counter and be in that spot. All right. Yeah, and then we shouted out before, like the mystery man. If anybody on free hit tripled up on Brentford defense, you could have had Kelleher, Lewis Potter, OOP, racking up 20 plus points. And then I saw some, Nico Collins or whatever, putting in 8-pointers. I think top team I saw had like 42 points from their Brentford players, and just swerved Thiago because he had the ankle knock. Now,
you could have got
I
over
like that. I like that all in on a free hit. Just pick a couple of teams and hopefully get lucky.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think now let's just keep it moving and jump into your free hit team for Game Week 18. Mr. Black Wolf himself will walk you from front to back with his little wolf paws and tell the listeners where all the points are going to come from. So I'm going to drop this team on the screen so all the NPCs can copy him to achieve eternal glory.
I'm going to go back to front, actually. And this is definitely not locked. I think I have a few locks in the team, but
that's the beauty of free hit. You can keep tinkering until the deadline arrives.
Yes. I have Jordan Pickford in goal. And then in defense, I have Virgil, Michael Keane, and Timber. Then I have Verts in midfield. I can't believe he's in my team, but I'm going to go with the flow. Yeah, you got to go with the flow. Then I have Harry Wilson, Foden, Saka, and then up top I have Ekitike, Haaland, and Bowen.
Oh,
and then my bench is just filled up with just random cheap options. But I've got Alderete in there, Sunderland defender, because if he does come on for any reason, I'm confident they can get a clean sheet there, possibly. So that's my team. There's a few places I'm not set on for sure. Arsenal defender, I think I want one. I don't know who I would want there. I currently have Timber. We're recording this before the Crystal Palace Arsenal Cup game. So depending on how that goes and who they play, I might switch out that defender. Keane could be Tarkowski. Possibly it could be another Liverpool defender. I'm pretty set on Verts, surprisingly.
Oh, set on Verts. Interesting.
I think so. I don't know who else I'd pick in that Liverpool team.
Yep.
I really don't. I think this is, if he's going to start scoring some goals and getting some points. I mean, he looked pretty good last week. I think Wolves at home, there's no better chance to do that. And then I think Saka's going to be a lock for me. I think multiple people have taken him out to be able to afford Ekitike. So I like the option of having him back in there.
And some people moved early on Saka out
before Bruno
to fund Ekitike and those price changes, and then have to use more transfers to figure out what to do with Bruno. So I chuckled when a few very popular CCs made that mistake on a Saturday night.
The 3 places I'm mostly not locked in on are Harry Wilson, Foden, and Bowen. Because Foden's in there from FOMO, because if I take him out and he gets another 20-pointer, that's going to completely suck and destroy my game week.
Yep.
So he's kind of in there for FOMO reasons. Harry Wilson, I don't really like having him on my team, especially because he's yellow flag. But he's the only option I can afford if I go with Bowen. So I could go Bowen down to a very cheap striker and then either play 4 at the back or upgrade Wilson to someone. I'm just not sure who that would be at this point. So we'll say Ekitike is a lock, and I'm very tempted to captain him because we're doing so shit, Brian. I'm tempted to captain him. But then again, it's FOMO from Haaland. If he comes with a 13-pointer, that's a red arrow guaranteed. I don't know.
Yeah. I would say that Ekitike would be interesting if we knew he was on pens and give you that kind of safety blanket to fall ass backwards into a 9-pointer. But Haaland open play plus pens plus being Man City.
Yeah.
Hard to go against. And I would be a little bit concerned again, like obviously Liverpool are playing a really, really downtrodden team. But there are a lot of changes right now in this Liverpool side, so we're not really sure the continuity. They obviously have oozing talent everywhere; it just hasn't come together yet. But would just put me off a little bit of that Ekitike cap. But at the same time, man, Wolves. I don't think there's been this poor of a start to a season in many moons, unfortunately. So I know you've been howling at the moon, just upset.
Terrible.
All right, so Verts, 0 goals in the Premier League. You think this is his time to shine?
I mean, we've seen the past few game weeks that he's got a couple of bonus points. He's got an assist. He's even hit DEFCON, I believe, in one of them.
Really?
He's definitely looks better. So
the highlight of his fucking season, he's hit DEFCON.
I know.
150 mil, ladies and gentlemen. Here's 4 points.
But if this guy is going to get a goal this season, surely Wolves at home, when he's...
Yep.
They're really relying on him to make the chances and take the shots.
Yep.
Surely.
And his price tag is the almost exact same as Cunha, who we believe will be on pens with Bruno out and Mbumo at AFCON. So was curious if that was a decision for you at all, if you would swerve Verts, who takes a little bit less shots versus the shot-hungry Cunha, who would probably upgrade himself to talisman status. Are they playing away or no? Playing home versus Newcastle, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I think I'd like to see Man United without Bruno. I mean, we did in the second half, of course, and Cunha still took shots. But Newcastle, I don't know. For me, it wouldn't be Verts or Cunha. It would be Verts and Cunha, and then I would take out Bowen.
Oh, Bowen.
Or Bowen. Yep. I would downgrade Bowen to a cheap striker and then upgrade Wilson to Cunha is my other option. Because I can afford that.
Yeah, I'm not a Bowen believer this season, just based on how truly pathetic West Ham are. They're listless. Like he'll trickle some points, but I just to get a double return out of Bowen in your forward slot, it's like a fucking miracle for them to score 2 goals in a match this season.
I'm really not feeling that pick. I wanted someone who's a bit of a differential, and he is.
Fulham have been up and down from a defensive standpoint. They just cleaned the listless NFO team, so I'm not sure what the forests are up to. The trees in the forests.
Yeah, I don't know. This probably won't be my team. I'm sure I will mess with it right up until deadline, as I always do on free hit.
And then lastly, would this be a moment to maybe Brighton get their shit together and score a goal? Could you fade Arsenal defense completely? Timber or any of their defenders have not been scoring off corners and really being the threat that they were early season. So, you're looking at going up against maybe a 6 or 7 pointer. Could you fade the Timber slot and go with, triple defense for Everton, for example, or, really go all in on another fixture?
You certainly could. A lot of people like playing their free hits like that. I'm always
Connor.
Yeah, I wish I could play like that, but I just know for a fact, if I pick triple Everton defense and they concede against Burnley, and then Arsenal get a clean sheet, that's just going to piss me off so much. So.
Yeah, I think if Everton were hosting Burnley. I don't love the triple up away, although we just saw it really pay dividends for those who went with Brentford versus Wolves. But, that's a pen save away from having all those points, ripped away. So double up on, mid-table teams is probably as far as I would go in terms of doubling up on defense. Triple up is really ballsy.
Yeah, I mean, you'll see in this draft, the only triple up I've got is Liverpool. Everyone else I've got just 2 of. I think I like that.
All right, and Harry Wilson, probably fit, probably good for another 75 minutes. Do you think his form just continues and he's worth the play?
I mean, he's the only one I can afford in that price range. I don't really like anyone else, so he's kind of in there for ownership reasons and because I can't afford anyone else. So I would happily not have him in a free hit.
All right.
So the more I look at this, the more I think Bowen and Wilson are the 2 that could change.
He had 1 shot versus Forest. A single shot, Mr. Harry Wilson.
Yeah.
Ugh. 0 chances created. 1 yellow card.
Not great.
3 def cons. We'll see. We will see. All right. Should we pivot to my free hit, which is in a completely different formation? Throw this up on
yours
screen.
Is very different.
Yeah, I'm feeling festive. I'm going with the Christmas tree. Fuck it. I'm having a terrible season. We're going 5-3-2 Christmas tree in celebration of the festive holidays. And I'm just trying to spike some double-digit hauls from the defenders. Just switching it up. So right now in this 5-3-2, which I don't know if I've ever played a 5-3-2. 4-4-2, very common for me.
Yeah,
but 5-3-2, I've played 5-4-1. But this free hit, we're looking at the Sunderland keeper and Ballard as the double up versus Leeds at home. Should be a very competitive match. Leeds obviously coming off the back of 4 goals, but Sunderland at home got a lot to play for. Some pride. Yeah, I'm seeing Ballard with a nice 15-pointer coming in. I could see it. So we're going with that. We're going with that double up. And then we got the double up in Liverpool defense with Frimpong and Virgil. I've been slagging Virgil for quite some time. I had him during all of his moments where he was dropping his pants and shaking his booty and giving up lots of goals, but he still makes it into the side versus Wolves. Frimpong, the ultimate punt. Can he play 61 minutes? With Bradley out, there's not a lot of depth right now up top. You think Szoboszlai probably plays, more advanced role rather than right back. So,
he's suspended.
Oh yeah, he's suspended this week. Perfect. Even better. That's right. So Frimpong is, he's a punt, 5.7 million. I've had a lot of fond memories of him in UCL fantasy, and he has some potential to at least play a downtrodden Wolves team and maybe get some points. So that's what I'm looking at there. And then I also have Keane and Gvardiol. So, I'm looking at big at the back for this week. I think, Gvardiol could be an Arsenal defender, could be Tarko. I could move some of these pieces around, but I'm really just hoping for a big, 2 of these guys to spike 12 plus pointers and hopefully be my definers of the game week. Then in the midfield, I have Cunha, Saka, and then Cole Palmer versus the hotter than wasabi villains of Aston Villa. Not sure about that pick, but again, I'm chasing. I have nothing to play for. Why don't you just get the man on the Chelsea Blues side? He came up with 5 points in the last match. Should be good for 70, and then they play, a couple days later. But I would say from a Chelsea perspective, it's much more key for him to play consistent, improved minutes versus a tough Villain side. But at the same time, the Villa left, they left a couple opportunities to Manchester United in that match. It was much more open than I would have thought. And then we've seen Villa just they've been winning some 3-1s, 3-2s. They have been conceding goals. So I think the fact that this is a home match and Palmer's starting to gain some of his powers back and will be a fun differential compared to most teams. And then I have Haaland and Ekitike up top. Right now, Haaland capped. But like you said, maybe Ekitike, as somebody who's chasing, maybe we'll get one of those rare blanks out of Holland. I didn't actually watch as much of the defensive work from Milinkovic and Murillo yesterday, but those guys can throw some bows, and maybe they can, try and stop Holland a little bit, hold him to maybe 9 points instead of his customary 13-pointer. So give me your thoughts on this squad right now.
I like it. It's made me rethink my entire free hit. I mean, you have a lot of differentials in there, which I like a lot. You've got some minute risks in there, so you're really taking a chance, particularly Frimpong and Palmer. But you're right, though. I think, Aston Villa are a team that Chelsea are going to really want to beat, considering the table position. So you'd think that Palmer plays at least 70 minutes, and he'll be on pens. So, I don't mind it.
Yeah, I just like the Villa side. I just don't see them playing like a 1-0 very often. They're like just open enough that I think Chelsea could, have some moments where hopefully Palmer can be in and around and buzzing around the box. So I think it's more so like he's like a high ceiling differential. Like, could he brace? Not that likely, but he's one of the players that nobody else will own this game week. And so therefore on free hit. And that's the same with Frimpong. Like that he could be a 1-pointer. It could be a shit show. But, most players blank week to week. And if I could just, have one miracle punt, I think he is a candidate for like, does he streak up the field and maybe nab a assist or a goal? So minutes risks for sure. And then,
you've only got one Everton.
Yeah, I think
feeling good about Burnley.
I've tinkered around with Gvardiol to Tarko, for example. There's probably a combination of that. The Gvardiol spot could be anybody. So I'm just always a sucker for the Croatian sensation himself. But yeah, that one's definitely much more up in the air.
Nice, I like it.
Yeah, why not?
I'm guessing it's not going to stay this way.
Yeah, probably not. I think I have looked at, instead of Cunha playing Newcastle at home, are we really unsure? I just feel like they can't attack at all, or they can't defend at all, so they have to attack, and he'll be taking shots from every position on the field, and he'll have that license. So, that spot could be just Foden, who I would be fading, and that it's a tough fade based on his quality. And I then could downgrade my defense. I'd probably, in this setup, like I don't have the room to also fit in Cunha plus Foden unless I completely change the whole formation. So I don't know, just something different. We're moving with it. But yeah, like I said, the goal is just to get two of these guys to get 12 pointers in the defense. And then I think I could get a cheeky, 15-point green arrow on the field. So we will see. Alrighty.
I mean, the Newcastle defense is very weak right now. They have a lot of injuries. They're also not great away from home. So I don't mind Cunha.
Should be on pens. Yeah, I think it's so. It's a pick that you're definitely putting yourself on the ledge a little bit. Like, do I have to jump off this building, or am I going to stay here and own him in game week 19 and beyond as well with success? So, all right, that's a couple of different free hit drafts. Give us some feedback on those. But now we're going to pivot to our hashtag FPL community questions. And this segment is the mailbag. Nice. Love that, Dan. All right. First question is from Nihal. He's on free hit as well. Triple Everton defense or double defense and Alcaraz/Grealish? Thoughts?
I mean, I've already said what I think. I don't like tripling up on a defense on free hit. I know some people do, but I would just get so pissed if Burnley score in that game. I don't know about Alcaraz. Grealish is a shout. Because, a lot of people don't have him in their team on a free hit that I've seen. I mean, the problem with the Everton attack is they're missing, like, Ndai, they're missing Dewsbury Hall.
Yep.
Their strikers aren't that great. So, I'm not feeling great about their attack. So I think if you were going to do one of those two, I would prefer the triple up on defense. So I'm probably just going to stick with 2 Everton assets.
Yeah, Grealish, he's more of the assister, right? So, like, who is he going to be passing to? He doesn't have, KDH wonder goals, side passes, or he just the tip of the spear for Everton is pretty poor. So I just don't rate that pick. If Grealish was taking 5 shots per game and doing that, but he's a low XG player. I have no idea who's gonna be on pens for them.
No.
So like maybe he's on pens just because he's England international, but we have no idea there either. So I
mean,
would
Nihal
go.
is also chasing. I know he's got a low rank as well. So if he's feeling someone like Alcaraz, he's going to be so lowly owned. Why not?
Yep. Go with your gut, especially if you're chasing. It's good to have some differentials. Yeah. That's what I'm doing there. Next question is from at FPL_Hunt. Is Palmer a pick yet? So I kind of gave him a shout in my free hit draft. It's a tough matchup. Villa have been absolutely soaring after an abysmal start to the season. You're just hopefully rating the player at home. Chelsea play much better. And I think on a free hit, absolutely. On a regular, bring him into your side, I don't think I would go there because they have a game 3 days later. He could be completely rested for that match. He could play 45 minutes. He could play 25 minutes. It's just not worth the price tag in the, to bring him in on a free transfer and then have him just not play midweek at his price tag. So that's my thoughts there. Like it on a free hit, but not for my regular squad yet. We need him to step up, though. We need him to be an alternative in people's teams that breaks up the template, I would say.
Definitely. But I would wait until this fixture congestion is over and then bring him in. Because like you said, these games every 3 or 4 days, I don't see him playing 90.
No, his groin is a tightly sprung coil. It is, I'm very, very worried about it. Very worried about it. All right, next question we have is from my Cayman fan, aka Matt. Wishes us Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to you out on the islands. Here's one. Do you feel the template is shifting to a 3-4-3 formation? I feel like most managers are fed up with the forwards. Even like
I don't think it's shifting at all.
We were hoping for Thiago, but I think it's just people are going to go Thiago to Ekitike and just play 2 up top, and then 1 dead spot is how I see it.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people are just going to switch Thiago to Ekitike. Some people are going to stick with the 4-3-3, 4-3-4-3. But I wouldn't say the template is shifting. I know I did see on there that I think it's Thiago and was it Thiago? Was it Dominic Calvert-Lewin? Someone rotates really well with Walter Made at Newcastle to the point where you play like the bottom 4 sides for like 10 game weeks in a row. I forget who the players are, but people who are going with that option might go 3-4-3. But I wouldn't say the template is shifting.
Yeah, I mean, people are looking at Bowen, DCL, Ekitike. Maybe people get Walter Made. Vissa is back and getting some minutes. I think he scored midweek in the Mickey Mouse Cup for Newcastle. Yeah, so, maybe Walter Made is only playing 65 minutes, but he, he's a tall lad and he's having a great start to his career there. He's got 5x the goals that Isak has so far this season. So gotta give him props.
So here's what I saw. I saw that if you have Ekitike now and you go to a Walter Made in 21, to João Pedro in 23, and then go back to Thiago in 28, your second striker fixture run is going to be Wolves, Leeds, Fulham, Leeds, Wolves, Palace, West Ham, Wolves, Leeds, Burnley, Bournemouth, Wolves.
You got to give some credit to whoever sent that out on X. That's quite the run.
Yeah, that's 2 up front. That's if you go Haaland plus, and then just keep rotating your second striker. You can get all of those teams back to back for about 10 game weeks. So kind of not a funny option.
Yeah, not bad. Especially if you have a few extra transfers in the bank that you can kind of move and shake between those guys. But between all these fixtures piling up and injuries and midweek football, it's just like, you can plan to do that, and all of a sudden you got 3 injuries in your team. You're like, oh fuck, I can't move this guy. But the FPL gods, they laugh when we try and plan. Next question is about one of those forwards in question. At Barrister FPL asks, Ekitike is in form, and especially with Isak having a broken ankle, I can get him without a hit. But at the same time, I'm thinking about fading him. Are there any other Liverpool assets worth considering for their upcoming fixtures? So this one's tough, Black Wolf. They have a great run coming up, and you would have probably liked to have two attackers nailed. But right now, I think it's just Ekitike and Szoboszlai really are probably the players that are going to be in the sides. Wolves at home, Leeds at home, Fulham away, Arsenal away, Burnley at home in the next 5. So, one tough fixture versus Arsenal there. 4 other fixtures are just scintillating. So it's hard to not jump on that Ekitike bandwagon when he's taking a ton of shots per 90 and everyone else is dropping like flies around him.
Yeah, I mean, and Szoboszlai is, like we said, suspended against Wolves, but he's a decent option the week after.
Yep.
But other than that, Ekitike is probably the standout, and then Virgil probably. As much as we hate him, the guy plays every game. He gets DEFCON almost every game.
Yep.
He's got a bullet header coming soon, for sure.
Yeah, and I don't mind if people who are holding on to Virgil, eventually you can move him to Gabriel when Gabriel's healthy. Like having that expensive defender slot in your team is, I think, still helpful. Arsenal doesn't have a great run coming up. It's pretty tough from facing a lot of attacking sides, but at the same time, like they usually very rarely give up more than 1 goal, so they could surprise a few people with clean sheets along that fixture tear. All right, next up, we have a question from Kev Johnson. Down under, he wants to know best Bruno replacement, Rice, Rodgers, Cunha, or Wirtz?
I mean, long term, probably Rice or Cunha. I mean, I like Wirtz for the next couple of games with all their injuries. Rodgers I love, but I think Rodgers can probably wait until a few game weeks when they have a really nice run again. I know he's been on fire lately, but
back-to-back braces.
Fixtures aren't great. Their fixtures aren't great right now, I don't think. So yeah, I think that's tough. Probably Cunha. Probably Cunha right now.
If Rodgers didn't have Chelsea and Arsenal both away back-to-back, exactly, then I could definitely see him coming in based on his form and the continued improvement of the Villains attack. But those are 2 really tough fixtures. So Cunha is the one. We are hoping that the combination of Mason Mount, Šeško, Cunha, like they can link up well enough to just cobble over the missing Bruno. I mean, who's going to step into midfield? Is Kobe Mainoo going to play a lot more minutes? I'm not really sure what the whole situation is for United with all these players out of action. But at the same time, like I said before, like they cannot defend. So they have to attack to even have a chance in some of these matches. So, Cunha is a player who's going to rip shots from 30 yards out. And he's going to hopefully get a few curlers in and find some of the magic that he had last year as a Wolves player.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, what a time. How many games did you win in a row? You went 6 games unbeaten.
6 games unbeaten, yeah.
Oh, man. Bell of the ball. The manager comes in. Oh, so much changes in football in such a short time period.
I know.
All right, next question we have is from at the Run CMC. He wants to ask a team-specific question about some moves. He's looking at Thiago, Saka, Bruno to Foden, Ekitike, Cunha with his team below. It's going to not take a hit either. He's 4 free transfers, so that definitely helps.
I like it. I mean, so many people are taking Saka out. I know he's not on pens anymore. It's Gyökeres by the latest news.
Yeah, I mean, back and forth.
Saka's still a great asset. He really is. So I don't like the Saka route really, but if that's the only way to afford those 3, then sure, I don't mind it.
I mean, how many goals does Saka have in the season? I don't mind punting that guy to the sun. 10 million. That's why I'm like really. I would love to see Palmer healthy so we could get him in that slot. But I like those moves quite a bit, Corey, especially if you're not going to have to use a take a hit. You have free transfers to use. Now's the time.
Saka's only got 2 goals.
2 goals in 18 matches. He missed a few games, but man, maybe I should be rethinking just keeping Foden.
Sorry, he's got 4 goals. I didn't scroll down enough. He's got 4 goals in 18 matches. So he missed a few games for injury, like you said, and he's still the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, the 8th highest scoring midfielder.
Yeah,
I know he's expensive, but
by the end of the season, he should be top 4. You would expect.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
The fact that he's below Declan Rice by 20 points, I think a lot of people are realizing that Rice is a very good option this year with his DEFCON and with his corner taking. And
yeah, I mean, that's somebody that Kev was asking about. 7-ish million could be a pick, but I don't know. If you're gonna use a midfield slot on Rice, that's a player that you just set and forget the whole season. Whereas I would rather chase the upside of Cunha than swap him to Anthony Gordon, be looking for those blocks of 4 or 5 fixtures where you're like, can I get 2 or 3 double-digit hauls in these 5 games and really try and shoot up the ranks? So I'm obviously talking from a place of pure disaster on my overall rank, but that's the kind of upside I look for.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. All right. I think those are all the questions we have. Let's see. Let me scroll up here. That's it. Thank you for engaging with us on social and getting those questions in. We appreciate y'all following us along. And now let's go into our final section of transfer plans and captaincy shouts. So Dan and I have already highlighted. We're on free hit. We're going to be tinkering up until the deadline. So we'll cover Bucks first. He moved early. He did Ekitike and Cunha in, Thiago and Bruno out. He had some money in the bank. Easy Haaland cap. He is moving in the right direction for a top 100K finish. I like those moves, Bucks. He did not have to take a hit. And then we're just talking about captaincy. Outside of Haaland, do you take the punt? You need a player to be able to get 2 goals to take on Haaland, because a couple weeks ago, I'm not sure if you went on the Saka cap versus Wolves for the 2 OGs, and we still lost. We still lost to Haaland.
Yeah.
So, what are you thinking?
I mean, I'm like 75% Haaland, 25% Ekitike.
Nice.
I don't see myself going against Haaland.
Even the bruising Milenkovic and Murillo, they could use some dark arts, but
it's just that whole feeling of if you do that and Ekitike blanks and Haaland gets a hat trick, that's your entire free hit ruined just because of one player.
Very true.
So I don't know if
you could just swim and then hope that in the margins you hit a few of your differentials and spike the 20 points that way instead. Yeah, all fair. Yeah, the more we talk about it, the more I have to think about Ekitike. Just like what does that front 3 look like? His minutes should be great. So
I think if I was in your spot, I would probably do Ekitike. I'm in that really awkward spot of being like 800,000 to the point where I've got a crap rank, but I've still got 100K is still very achievable if I have a good run in the next few weeks.
Yep.
So I'm like, do I try and get really high, or do I just fuck up my season? I don't know what to do.
Nah, we have a whole nother set of chips coming, right? So you're in a good spot to get a very respectable finish. So I think
so are you though. You've got half the season and 4 chips.
No, God. Yeah. Well, wait until I captain Frimpong this week and really just go Bucks wild. Yeah. All right, I think that's it. Dan, what are your plans for the Christmas break coming up here in the US of A? Any traditions? Any Snoop on the stoop? Any Elf on the shelf? Any pickles to be pulled out of trees? What do we got?
Just as much relaxing, as much eating, as much chilling as possible.
What is on the menu? We talked some Thanksgiving food earlier episodes. What are you dining on for Christmas Day?
Well, on the day after Christmas, we like to have English food. So it would be very similar to Thanksgiving. So we would have like stuffing, Yorkshire puddings, chicken, gravy, roast potato,
Delish.
parsnips, carrots, that kind of stuff. Very similar to Thanksgiving dinner, really.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then you're in Northern California. It's been quite the awakening for me to go from central coast of California. It was 84 degrees last Tuesday, and then go to Wisconsin where it was 18 degrees. It is rough. It is rough, but I am enjoying. There's some snow on the ground. Got the lights, around all the houses in the suburbs where my parents live. Take the little one for a walk, check out the lights for like 5 minutes, and then get back in the house by the roaring fireplace. I'm seeing a bunch of my family. There's 3 NFL games on Christmas Day, so you best believe I'm going to be putting a few cheeky punts down on those games. Hopefully, crushing a few beers. And then I think I'm a big fan of the honey ham for Christmas. I like that. Nice. My mom makes a nice cheesy potato kind of casserole bake thing, honey ham, some vegetables. Yeah, that's going to fill me right up. Looking forward to that. And then, when you're in Wisconsin, it's just everything's got cheese. So there's lots of cheese floating around here in the dairy state. Yep. So I'm gonna be eating a few of my favorite macaroni and cheese places this week, and then also, the fried cheese curds.
Sounds good. Never had that.
Oh, never?
No, never.
Oh man, I might have to ship you some. You might have to fry them yourself, but the cheese curds are massively popular here in Wisconsin. So putting on my holiday 10-pack and drinking a 6-pack every day here on vacation. Yes. So can enjoy myself. All right, we will be back on Sunday night, and we're actually going to tease a guest we're having at FPL, Conte, on the pod. He is right now top 1,500 in the world, a hashtag FPLUSA member. He is maybe coming off of wildcard this week. He's definitely going to be using a chip either this week or next week. So he will be joining Bucks for that pod on Sunday night, and we'll try and roll that out as soon as possible. I'm TBD if I can make that one. I have to pack before an early morning flight back to sunny California the next day, but we're going to try and get that great guest on before the midweek madness. So without further ado, please follow us on all platforms at FPL USA Press Play. Give us a like and hit subscribe on your phone, your partner's phone, your kid's phone, on YouTube as we try and grow that. Any last words, Mr. Black Wolf?
Just want to wish everyone a very, very happy holidays. Hope you all have a great Christmas with your families. And for those that play FPL, I hope you all get a nice Christmas present under the tree.
That's
green arrow.
That's right. Thank you so much for following us this year. We'll be back with one more episode before the year ends. And until then, thanks for joining us as always. Catch you soon.